Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cuts Academy JC, Crown Cuts Academy Bristol, and Craig's Crown Cuts Downtown Johnson City, with my co-host himself.
Ammi Fields, Ammi your barber, Marion, Virginia.
And Jordan Barr _52 on Instagram from Bristol, Tennessee.
Yes, sir. We're going to spread love the Tri-City way, but the only way to spread love is the Crown Cuts way. We're going to have a big episode for you guys today. You know, here at Barber College Success, we try to drop gems, drop jewels, just to try to give the average student, the person who's in between thinking about a career, just trying to help them decipher how to navigate your time through school, how to navigate your time through this barber thing. Barbering is so much love, and we got to continuously drive the arrow to this path of greatness. Continuous flow. But anyway, we got a special episode for you guys today. But before that, let me talk about FeedSpot, ranking us in the top 25 podcasts in the world, top 25 podcasts in the country. Hey, we moving, guys. We moving. But we got a special episode today, straight from Cali. Like my guy said, I'm going back to Cali. Cali. I'm going back to Cali.
We're on a biggie kick today.
Yes, sir. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Taylor Jade _ your barber. And you can find me on Instagram. I'm a 29-year-old barber student currently at Urban Barber College in Concord, California. If you don't know where that's at, it's in Northern California, about 45 minutes away from San Francisco.
Boom. And today we're going to have a big episode. We're going to talk to Taylor. She found our podcast and she's been in love. We're just going to talk about her journey and talk, just get a good vibe, just a flow. We're just going to vibe with her today. And again, everywhere. Am I? Your favorite spot?
Madagascar.
Hey, we're in Chicago. We're in Nashville. We're in all counties of Tennessee.
Singapore.
All through the United States.
Is that Tennessee? No, it's not Tennessee.
Singapore?
Hey, Jordan, fall back. You should know that. No, Jordan.
I'm just asking questions.
But anyway, welcome, Taylor. Appreciate you coming on this podcast. And we're just going to get to know you a little bit, talk about your journey, talk about your school, talk about your friends, talk about your peers, and just inspire you. You know, once you're on this podcast one time, you got to come back again. You don't just come one time.
Definitely. And I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to let me be on here. It's huge for me, honestly. I've never been on a podcast, so thank you again.
Well, your journey and what being on this podcast, you're going to inspire someone else, and that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
You know, each one teach one. You learn, earn, and then you return. That's our motto here. Yeah. And we're gonna. So, Ammi, talk to me. What you got in your mind?
I'm ready to hear about Taylor. What she got going on in California. And I was also thinking about how she said Concord, and in this area we say Concord. We were just talking about accents, so it's like every part of the world they say something different. But I'm excited to hear your story.
Yeah.
Big. So how many hours are you in school now, Taylor?
So this is the crazy thing. Before COVID, it was 1,500 hours to be able to take the state board test, but they cut that down and reduced it to 1,000.
Oh, wow.
And there is not a hands-on test. It is all just written. So they revamped everything. The written test is supposedly like 5 times harder than it was before. And you just have to clock your hours. So there's some pros. You can get in and out pretty quick of the barber college, but I feel like the con is the reduced hours. Like I'm coming in to this school not really knowing how to cut hair. Right. So I would have rather taken the 1,500 hours. So now I have like compacted everything into 1,000 hours, and I'm just trying to learn as much as I can in that 1,000 hours.
See, the important thing of that is there are a lot of states who are reducing the hours, but
Virginia is one of them.
And a lot of students would think that would help them, but I'm like you, Taylor. I mean, I would want to get as much experience as possible because that 1,000 hours goes so quick. It goes so quick. And you want to be, without a doubt in my mind, you're going to be equipped because what I see of you online and what I see of you just in person, just hearing you speak and talk, you're going to be equipped. And if anything that I can do, Ammi can do, or Jordan can do, we're going to help you from afar.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm just zoning in, trying to get good at my haircuts. I feel like the customer service is there, the client consultation, all of that. I'm good about reading my book and all of that. So really, I'm just trying to zone in and learn as much hands-on stuff as possible.
So basically, let me get this correct. You guys do have a classroom, but in the classroom, is it self-taught or you have a teacher in there?
We have a teacher. So every day when we come into class, what we do is everybody has an hour of theory and we kind of go over the book. And then we split up into groups and half of us go on the floor and start cutting whatever clients walk in for the day. And then the other half of us sit in the theory for 2 hours. It's a specialty class after theory, sorry. And we learn different haircuts or color, whatever the topic may be for that day.
Good.
But I think that you're gonna be boss anyways, because all the important stuff you got.
Yeah.
Like the consultation, the client, building a relationship. I've seen you post some of your videos about your clients and your relationships. Your social media presence is amazing. And just the reach that you had, like putting a video out, reaching to, even be on this podcast, to me, nothing's going to be in your way. As far as haircuts go, you'll get all the haircut you want.
Yeah,
You'll go get all the haircut you
the
want.
main stuff that you really need that is going to make you successful, because that's some of the stuff that you have right now is what I really didn't have when I got into the shop. But I might have had more of the haircutting part, but the most important stuff is what you have.
And when we talk about this, the haircut is important, but I tell students, don't focus on the haircut. Focus on your weakness. The strength is the haircut, because it's like riding a bike. You can get enough reps of pedaling that bike. You will get enough reps of cutting hair. But there's so many things that goes to being a master barber. And for me, and I know most shop owners, they would almost rather you come in with those qualities, values, consultation, knowing how to answer a phone, how to clean up after yourself at the shop. Those things are so underrated in some students' eyes, but they are major once you get into the world as far as having a shop owner who they look for. Because most shop owners, they'll tell you, I can teach you and give you some tips on how to cut hair. And they understand they was in your position once upon a time where they're like, you know what? Cutting hair, it takes time. You can't shortcut that process. You can't shortcut that 6 months out of the shop. You can't shortcut that year out of the shop. You can't shortcut that 2 years out of the shop, even 3, 4, 5 years out of the shop. But the things that we want you to come ready and prepared for is being able to answer the phone, being able to talk to a client, being able to be respectful. Those things, ethical things that are in barbershops that people just underestimate. But those things are the ones that's going to help you to retain clients, increase your income, and make you have a good reputation. You already got it.
What did you do before you?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask Craig, at your school, do you guys have like a life skills course where you kind of talk about all of that?
We do. It's important because what I do, I have something called questions and answers, where I'll stop in the middle of the day and say, hey, everyone, let's get in the lab. The lab's where everyone cuts hair, and everyone just sits in the chair, in a barber chair, and we'll just go about it and just ask questions. Just kind of slow it down for the student to understand there's so much more things besides the haircut, and do some role playing. And then we bring people in, we do something on Fridays, each one teach one as well, where they come in, someone from the community comes in and just talk and vibe and get to know what it is to work in the industry out there. Because all work industries are the same, I think. You have to come and be prepared, be on time, be respectful, know how to talk to your peers, know how to talk to your coworkers, and know how to clean your area. All those things is common in most work areas. So bringing someone from a different workforce or work field to kind of express that and explain that to students, that's big. Because one thing that a lot of students don't realize is that the same problem you have on the East Coast, on the West Coast, on the South, in the North, everybody's going through those same scenarios. But unfortunately, most students think that they're the only ones who are going through that. So it's important, like someone like yourself, to come on this podcast to help students realize, hey, we all have things that we have to go through. But there's people out there to help you, like you reaching out to us, like you reaching out to your instructors. There's people out there who are willing to help you, but you have to take the initiative. And you have to look yourself in the mirror and find out what is your why. And when you find out what is your why, the sky's the limit because that gives you momentum.
Oh yeah, and a lot of new doors will open up for you. It's crazy because I started doing this barbering stuff and so many doors have opened for me already. Like I launched my Instagram page about 6-7 weeks ago, and I've never edited a video before that. And I love doing it, and I love bringing the barber content into my videos, editing it, and just sharing it with the world, you know?
That's big.
What did you do before this? You seem like you were in some kind of service industry before, because it seems easy. Like, were you like server, bartender, like something like that? What did you do before?
No, I actually work with adults who have developmental and intellectual disabilities.
Oh, wow.
I did that for about 10 years, and a lot of it was hands-on. I did case management. I did different trainings, and I kept wanting to move up, but I just felt so stagnant. And then I was so like burned out, like they were just sucking the creativity out of me, and I couldn't find a way to kind of release that. So I was like, I'm going to step away for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and go to an office job. So I did that for a year, and I was like, no, this is not it. I cannot sit for 8 hours and type and answer the phone all day. Like, I need personal interaction. I need to be moving. So I was thinking, I was like, what can I do? Well, when I was working hands-on with those clients, I used to cut their hair. Now, we didn't have professional barber tools. We just had some basic clippers from Walmart, and I would slap a 2-guard on there, and we'd go on the porch, and I would cut their hair, but they would just enjoy it. And I realized when I was in that moment, I didn't think about anything. I was just
at your happiest.
and I enjoyed it. So I was like, I should do this. And somebody made a comment one time, oh, you could be a barber as your second job or something like that. And I was like, I kind of just laughed and shrugged it off. But here I am at barber school, and I feel like I'm doing really well, and I enjoy every moment of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny. Like the misconception is like barbering's part-time. Like they said your second job. I had somebody ask me for an apprenticeship the other day. He's like, say, why you want an apprenticeship? He's like, oh, I just want to learn some more skills. I'm like, this
part-time.
Yeah, I'm like, no, this is a lifestyle for me. Like,
Right.
this ain't no part-time thing.
Yeah, because if you go into part-time and not full-time, you're not going to enjoy the benefits. You're not going to reap the benefits.
And you'll never grow.
Yeah, you won't grow.
You just be doing it on the side, just cutting like 2 or 3 people.
But it's important what you said, and as you sitting there describing your previous job and your barbering career, I'm going to tell you something. You might think you might not see it right now, but your previous job and your barbering, they're going to intersect. I can see it.
Oh yeah,
I can see it coming, because your previous job taught you patience, and as a barber, you have to have patience. Your previous job gave you ethics. It taught you values, because it taught you how to love people. Because to work in that industry that you worked in, you have to have a love for those people. You can get burnt out, don't get me wrong, but you got a love that's going to transcend and push you and propel you into this barbering industry like no other. Trust me, I can already see it. I can see it. Yeah. I can see it. And
I'm excited. I'm excited for all the doors that are going to open, all the opportunities, the different clientele that I have access to. I'm just excited.
Yeah, it's going to be big. So what did your classmates think about you coming on this podcast today? Did you tell them?
I told the couple, so I just kind of posted on my Instagram. We all follow each other, so they know. I don't think they know that it was today, but the fact that I'm at home and not at school, and I'm going to go after this podcast, I'm like, where were you?
But it's live. You can text them and tell them it's live now. Is it live, Mitch, on Maypop Media? It's live on Maypop Media on Facebook, so you can send some notifications out and tell them check you out. And if they have any questions for us, they can hit us up, because we have a little bit more time on this podcast.
All right, sounds good.
So where are you at right now in your hours in school? Do you know?
So I am a little under 400 hours, I believe, and my projected graduation date is March 22nd.
Oh, you got plenty of time. You got plenty of time. Just keep grinding like you're grinding, and don't miss days.
Yeah, you have a long
term. I don't miss days. I've missed one day. I'll miss another day on Friday because my mother's coming into town to visit me. But we can make up hours. So if I miss a day, like Friday, I'll miss a day. So after Thanksgiving on a weekend, I'll come in and I'll make up those 8 hours.
So you guys are from Monday through Saturday?
I'm Monday through Friday because I'm full-time, but they do have part-time that's weekend only. And then they have a part-time that's evening only.
Okay, so the only days that the schools actually close is on Sundays.
Holidays.
So they're
Holidays.
7 days a week.
You open on
Oh.
Sundays as well?
Yeah, we are a busy school. Like we've
Ooh.
been open, I believe, for 10 years.
Right.
We have a pretty good reputation.
You said it.
Reputation out here.
Mhm.
So a lot of people will come to us and come and get a haircut. And I mean, it's $8. So some people are coming because they want to help us grow. Some people are coming because it's affordable.
Right.
In the experience, we have 31 or 32 stations. I don't remember, but it's a big barbershop. It's huge.
Right.
So people come in just for that experience.
I like the fact that it's flexible 7 days a week.
Yeah, gives options to the
Yeah,
students.
and it gives options to the students, and that's something that I have thought about, but I wasn't sure how people would be receptive to it.
And
But
also
that's-
being open on Sundays and
Yeah,
Mondays,
that's
when
big.
everybody else isn't open.
yeah, that's major. That's major. That's major.
What is your long-term goals? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years in this industry?
Well, for sure, cutting hair. And you know what? I don't want to set a limitation. I don't really have an end goal because I'm just keeping an open mind, and just any doors that open, I'm going to evaluate the opportunity from there and either take it or move on to the next one. I know I want to be in a shop right when I graduate. So hopefully I don't have a problem finding a shop that will accept me.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
What is the average? What is the average price of haircuts out there in California right now in a shop?
I would say between $35 and $50.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's what Jordan's doing over here in Johnson City, just getting out of school. He's at where you at, Jordan?
What from what
Haircut.
price?
Yeah.
Well, it's 30 right now, but it's gonna go up to 35 in beginning of next year. So
Okay. Yeah. This dude right here. He just. By the way, Jordan is a celebrity bar. Don't let him fool
I'm
you.
not a celebrity, bro.
Look at him. He went out there to.
He only wears designer clothes.
No, I work hard. I work hard for what I deserve, man. I think I like that Cali swag. When I was out there, I like the way y'all dress, and I like the vibe I got out there.
It's like baggy out there, right?
Right,
Baggy.
Everything. You said what?
You were in LA, so you definitely were in a very flashy area.
Yeah. It was dope out there. I had fun.
Yeah.
What's the percentage of women barbers at your school right now?
Ooh, there's not very many of us. I would say there's like 5. And I
What?
think there's like 80 students at our
Oh, wow.
location.
Dang.
So Urban Barber actually has 2 locations. We have
Mhm.
one here in Concord and we have one in San Jose.
Okay. Who's the owner of the school? Is it a lady?
No, it's a guy. His name's Alejandro.
Okay. Yeah, I think I follow one of the owners out there. I don't know who it is, but one of my friends, he introduced me to this lady or guy who owns a school. I thought it was Urban Barber College, but he says Alejandro. So that's good, man. The barbering is something that, and listening to you talk, it's a passion of mine, and I could just see it in your voice and hear it and look at your face and see how it's becoming a passion of yours. I want you to encourage you to maintain that intensity, because that's when you reap the fruits of this industry.
Absolutely. And your podcast gives me inspiration every day. When I go to school, I listen to you. When I come home, I listen to you guys. And I just try to reflect on my day and compare it to what you were saying. And everything's just starting to click and make sense for me.
So how did you come across the podcast? Tell us that story. How do you find us? How did you come across it?
I was so nervous when I first started barber school. So I was like, let me look at what's going to help me. And I just started looking at barber podcasts. Yours popped up and I was like, cool, let me give this a listen. And I was like, all right, I like this. Oh yeah, this is going to help. And I just started listening. I think I've heard almost all of your episodes. So.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. You listen to 100, Jay. You locked in.
We got some content, don't we?
Yeah, you locked in.
You what do you like? Let me ask you a question. What do you think your best strengths are coming in school right now? And then what is one of your weaknesses that you feel like?
Things that you need to work on.
Yeah. Not a weakness. What do you think that you can improve on?
Definitely my strengths are the customer service part. I talk to my clients, ask them how their day was. And it's cool because I've met so many people from around the world. So even if they can't speak English, I'm able to somehow communicate with them. And I feel like that's a huge skill that I can just bring to the table anywhere I go.
Is that a pretty common thing? Sorry to interrupt you, but in your area, is there a lot of people that don't speak English that you have to cut?
Yeah, so California, as you know, is very, very diverse. I have
Yes.
met people from all around the world just in the 6 weeks that I've been on the floor cutting. Some of them speak English, some don't. And if I could tell that they're from another country, I always ask them, like, hey, where are you from? What language do you speak there? What do you like about that? When did you move here? What do you like better about America than where you're from, and vice versa? And they enjoy that. And sometimes I ask them, like, oh, how do you say thank you in your language? And they'll tell me. So it's just that interaction. It's very,
See, the
very
key,
positive.
the key, what you said there, what is going to help a lot of people who listen to our podcast is communication. Getting to know someone on their level, not over talk them, not raise your tone higher than theirs, but just get down to their level and just build a rapport. Because through communication, anything can happen, and a lot of barbers fail to understand that. So that's a gem right there. You just dropped, Taylor. Communicating with your clients, communicating with your clients in school. You don't wait till you get out of school to start building or working on that. You start working on those things right now. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about making somebody comfortable. If you have somebody that comes in, can't speak very good English, and then they're trying to tell you how to do their hair,
Right.
that's just nerve-wracking for them. So if you can, pull out your phone, show them pictures, give them options, just make them feel comfortable, like you want them in your chair. Don't sit there and, be silent, because then you're dismissing them. Even if they don't speak your language, cutting hair is a universal language.
By far, making them feel at home, making them feel real comfortable. Those things go a long way. What do you think, Jordan?
Man, I remember when I was in school, I talked to people, but I'm very introverted, so I don't really like to talk sometimes because I'm a listener. I like to listen to what people have to say, and I've really had to work on my communication the past couple months with my clients, and I've gotten so much more better, especially being on this podcast. It helps me out so much, and yeah, definitely that you have that skill set so early. That's a very, very important asset to have, because I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, especially at my school, I'm always trying to tell the younger guys, hey, come on, let's talk to our clients. Just ask them, how are you? Do you have children? What do you do for work? What do you like about your hair? What don't you like about your hair?
Just being a good person, just being a good communicator, letting people know that, hey, you enjoy their company, you enjoy them patronizing you and spending their money with you. Those things go a long way, because when people feel that comfort, you put them at ease. Their haircut is not just a chore, it's an experience. They feel so much more better and comfortable to come back to you as a barber. You will retain more clients. You will build a great reputation, and your income will increase when you do those things.
I have a question. So when you have somebody that doesn't speak English, of course, what does a consultation with them look like? From like how do you engage and try to give them the best haircut you can?
So when you walk into our school, there's a wall, and there's these big posters that have like 100 different haircuts.
Okay.
And I always take them to the board, point, and they'll kind of look through them, scan, and then pick one. And then I could try to revamp it. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, he wants a burst fade, or let me see if I could find something on Google similar to that might fit their face shape better. So I do that, and then we kind of come to an agreement, shake our head, yes, no. And most people know a little bit of English, even if you don't know it. They know a couple words.
Yeah.
And that's been enough to get by. So
that's dope. That's that's a good idea too. To have a large board full of hair, which that was a pretty common thing in barbershops for the most part. Was it? There's a lot of them are outdated now. We probably should update the boards, but that's a pretty common thing.
I feel like they should put that back in there. Just put a big old board with updated haircuts.
Yeah.
But give me the number 5. It's like on the menu.
So you've been in school like 400 hours now, right?
Yeah.
Am I correct? 400 hours. What are some things, knowing what you know now, that you could have done differently or think about doing differently as approaching school when you came hour 1 to 400?
That's a great question.
Because this is going to help some students who come in, because you come in and everything is like brain surgery to you. You like a fish out of water. So coming from a student who's in there 400 hours in, you're going to help that person who's indecisive And you're gonna help that person who's sitting there thinking, man, I'm not learning nothing. You're gonna help that person who's just kind of frustrated, waiting to get on the floor to grab those clippers and not understand it's a process to this. There's steps to this. Take your time, because once those clippers get in your hand, it's a new animal. You are gonna get nervous. Learn as much as you can learn before that time comes.
Right. It's like the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, like you guys always say. But really, the one thing that I feel like would have helped me is to know it's not all haircuts. You have to read your book. Read your book. Learn the history. Learn the different shaving techniques. The 14-point shave. I don't know what your guys' state board test is, but they're heavy on the 14-point shave out here.
It is.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So just doing small research to just have some background knowledge before you walk into the school, that will kind of, for one, set you apart from everybody else. And for two, you know what you're coming into. And just do as much research as possible. Stop watching haircut tutorials. They'll teach you all that. You'll learn that.
Yeah.
Start looking up terminology that we use. Customer service. Talk to yourself in the mirror if you have to.
Find out what is your why.
And yes, find out what your why is. Why are you doing this? What value does it bring to you as a person? And what value are you going to bring into the industry?
And that's a great thing, because, everybody, before they want to go to school, they're sitting there watching 360 Jeezy, trying to figure out how to cut hair.
Vic
and then
blends.
they show, Vic blends. And then they show up at school and they're like, okay, I need you to do a tea party and roll a perm.
And everybody's like,
People aren't ready for that.
But the
Your
key
fingers
thing,
will
right?
hurt. You will roll so many perms, your fingers will hurt. But you know
Like-
what? At the end of the day, and it might not be for 5 years from now, you're going to graduate. You're going to go in a shop and somebody's going to walk in and say, I want a perm. Can you do that? And you're going to say, yeah, I know how to do that.
I will never.
Because you're
forget
not going to, you're going to learn so much. You're never going to turn a client away.
Mhm.
And that's the key for me. You're a master stylist. You're a master barber, a master stylist, a master cosmetologist. You don't turn down no services. There's no services that should intimidate you after you get licensed. If they intimidate you, it's because of what you did not do to prepare yourself while you were in school.
Exactly. And I love even doing hair color services. Not a lot of barbershops you walk in and see a washable in different colors. I definitely want to bring that wherever I'm at. I want to bring color services in and heavy. I want to promote that.
Because the perception is reality for so long, where people just thinking that barbers, all they do is just fade. You don't want that perception for you. You want to be able to use your shares. You want to be able to use color. You want to be able to do a perm. You want to be able to do a straight apart. You want to be able to do some braids. You want to be able to do some dreads. There's so much in this arsenal of being a master barber or a master stylist, a master cosmetologist. And now it gets to the point where a lot of cosmetologists who went to school, who shied away from the clippers, they want to come back to get their crossover license. And a lot of barbers who were in school, who shied away from doing women's haircut, now they want to get better doing with their shares and doing women's haircut. All those things can happen while you're in school if you just take your time and prepare and don't shy away from the practicals. All those things are there for you. And I'm pretty sure, like your school and every other school, there are students who just shy away from those times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Definitely.
is there like a main thing that you really want to focus on? Like, as far as like being in the shop, what do you want to provide that really is going to set you yourself apart from everybody else? Like, you want to be like a fade color specialist, or you want to be I can tell that's kind of what you want to lean towards, is being like a really nice at color. I feel like that's something you'd really be nice at.
Yeah, and just specialty cuts in general. I want to be able to fade. I want my fades to look blurry. I want to be able to be really good at shears. I have barber friends that they say their clients drive 100 miles just to come see them because they could do a classic shear cut. And I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
100 miles?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Why not?
I got a question for you. In California, I know California was way more strict with the COVID regulations and stuff. Has there been in your school? Do they teach? Is there any difference that's happened between COVID and now that they started teaching, or maybe in the shops, any procedures that you had to perform that's different than before?
So I don't have a direct answer for you because I just started in August,
Of course.
and we don't have a mask mandate right now. Most people aren't wearing masks. All we do is sanitize. We wipe down our stations between each client, which should be standard with or without COVID.
Standard.
Yes. And some people do wear masks still, and I've gotten real good about, I have a video about it, taking people's masks off their ears so I can get back there and putting it back on without removing the whole mask. It's a skill I thought I'd never have, but here we are.
That's big.
Yeah. I'm so happy that you're here. With the whole social media thing, it seems like you're it's like a reflex for you. When I see you seem professional at it. Like I see your videos and you're editing, your voiceovers that you do. I guess that's why you have the mic, you do the voiceover. When did you pick up on that skill? When did you start working on that? Was that as soon as you got in school, or at what point did you start improving your social media presence?
I don't know what episode it was of you guys's, but you had talked about barbers wishing that they had their first haircuts, and so they could look back and reflect how much they've grown. So I was like, I should start something like that. So when I'm better, I could go back and say, hey, look at how much I've grown. Look how much better my haircuts are. So I just launched that like a week into school, and then I just started editing. School. Yeah, and then I started editing videos, and I was like, I like doing this. And people will make comments. They'll say, isn't that time consuming? And I'll say, yeah, but I enjoy doing it.
And that's the key.
And then, yeah, so I started YouTubing, doing different research, how I could improve my videos and stuff. And it's just kind of taken off from there.
What's up? Go ahead.
When you love what you do, it's not even work. It's not even hard.
That's my fun time.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like that's also a form of showing like how, it's a form of art. Your videos are a form of art as well, I think, because putting them together, there's certain ways you can make them like look, you know what I'm saying? There's pictures, videos. It's just, you can, everything, photography, videography, all that goes together in the barbering so well. And I feel like if you have a good sense of artistry, you can really go off with that. I kind of want to go more into videography as myself because I'm trying to get more detailed in certain things.
But that's doing is just showing that, I talk about it all the time. It's not just about moving your wrists. Diversify yourself in this industry. Don't just be a one-trick pony. Diversify yourself.
And that makes you more appealing to be hired because you're promoting your school. The videos that you do promote your school and makes your school look so much better. So that in itself, when you go to get hired to a barbershop and you say, hey, look at my video promotions, look what I can do for you. I can bring more business into your business just from me making my videos in general. And that makes you so much more valuable. And the fact that you started early in school, just like Craig always says, work on these things in school. You started in school, so by the time you get out of the shop, you're into a shop, you're going to be amazing. You're amazing now. I mean, you're way above. I mean, you're better than I am. I ain't gonna lie to you. I use my phone. You know, you're doing the voiceover. Like it's amazing what you do. So by the time you get in the shop, you're going to be great.
But not only that, but you prepare yourself to be able to negotiate your booth rent, your commission, or whatever, because you have a skill that you can talk to the shop owner and say, hey, this is what I can bring to you. Because trust me, most shop owners, they wish or they would love to push the marketing, the video editing, all that stuff on to someone else because that saves them time. So if you're coming in with that skill and so diverse and you coming into a shop with qualities, you're top of the food chain to hire. And you can negotiate your position going into any shop in Cali, not just in Cali, but around the country,
anywhere on the planet.
Yeah,
not the city, the world, Craig.
Because most shop owners be like, "What? You gonna do this? You do that? You well rounded?" And there are not too many barbers who are well rounded because. And another key thing I heard you say, which is important, is I listened to the podcast and it told me that I need to start right now. Don't wait when I get out of school. When you start in school, it helps you out. It helps propel you to that next level because you're practicing. You're practicing for the show. And you're not just practicing with your hands doing the haircut. You're practicing everything to prepare yourself when that time, when your hour's up, hey, I'm going in the shop. I'm just sliding in. I'm ready to roll. Easy, smooth transition.
And that reminds me, my dad, who worked for Job Corps, and he met this young man in Puerto Rico. And my dad somehow had a conversation. And my dad said to the young man, he said, knowledge is power. And the young man said, no, knowledge is power when it's applied. And
Right.
what you have done is you have taken knowledge that you've gathered and you have put it forth, whether from the podcast or other forums that you've learned from, and you're putting it forward. And it's obvious. It is an obvious separation
Simple.
of yourself that I've seen from other students, because you've taken this knowledge and you've put it inside you and you've applied it to everything that you do. And it is obvious how great you're going to be.
Receive plus retain
Yep.
equals apply.
Yes, right.
Receive, retain it, and then apply it. Simple equation. What do you think,
Exactly. And
Jordan?
I feel like, sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
feel like if you're going to jump into this, why not be all in? Put all your effort in. If there's extra stuff that you can do that's going to help you learn, help you retain information, just do it. Try different things. You never know what you're good at. I had no idea I would like editing videos. I had no idea.
Right.
And like I said, my old job I felt so sucked in and deprived of my creativity that beast has kind of been released, and I'm here expressing myself in the barber industry.
Well, one thing I gotta say, you give love to your old job because it did prepare you to cut those kids' hair. So that helped you out too. Show them
Yes.
some love for that, because that kind of propelled you in that avenue as well.
Oh
Because
yeah.
if it wasn't for them, I mean, they showed a little bit of love, being patient with just the two guard.
They built my foundation.
Yes. Talk about some of the instructors who inspire you at your school. Just give them a little shout out, because instructors like to hear that. Give them a little shout out and talk to them and tell them why they inspired you and what they have done for you.
I have to give a shout out to Allie. She comes every single day, and you could just tell in her presence that she is meant to be a teacher. She comes in and she makes it fun and exciting, and I could just sit there and listen to her talk, and I always ask her for feedback, and she's willing to give it to me. And then I have to give a shout out to Oso. He's a barber, full-time in another city, and then he comes after that and comes and teaches us, and he's really good hands-on. He's taught me so much about fading, and I can always say, I could pull him over and be like, hey, look at this cut. What can I do to make this better? And he'll show me little tricks.
Yes.
And I appreciate that so much. I appreciate feedback. I love feedback.
Shout out to Allie and Oso. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you did.
That's a dope name.
That's dope.
Oso.
That's dope. That's
Oso.
great. That's great. I mean, it's important because a lot of times the instructors get backlash. I'm pretty sure some students are like, blah, 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 blah. But it's good sometimes to kind of shout them out and let them know, hey, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And by far, you do appreciate Allie and Oso. That's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
and everybody at the school, honestly, there's other teachers that don't come in as often, or they work the weekends, but I see them kind of in passing. And they're always super nice. That's one thing I wasn't expecting. I was so nervous on my first date, and I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to have these big egos. I'm going to walk in
Right.
here with my happy self, and they're going to just kind of shut me out. No, everybody is so welcoming and inviting between the students and the teachers.
and what is one thing you can say? Every school has students who are really quiet, who are really shy. What is one thing that you could say to those students right now who are just really quiet and really shy and just falling back?
Start looking at TED Talks, start looking at YouTube videos, how you can make your communication better, because communication is key.
Communication changes situations. Communication changes situations. Yep.
Mhm.
And-
And it helps you grow. So if you communicate with your teachers, hey, I'm struggling with this, they're going
Right.
to come and help you extra, because that's what they love to do. And I feel like people are just saying, oh, I'm not learning nothing. But are you asking questions? Because you have to ask those questions.
Right. That's big. That's big. And again, tell the people where you are again. Just a shout out to your school. Let them know where you are and the owner. And he'd probably love to hear you give him a shout out. Just say where you are, what school, the address. Let people know where they can get you and what time you at school. Where you go? You full-time, part-time? What days you there?
So I'm at Urban Barber College, and that's in Concord, California. Let me look up the address here. I don't know by heart. So I'm at Urban Barber College, and the address is 1809 Willow Pass Road. And I'm
that's
there
good.
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We have a director. Her name is Nargis, and she's amazing. She's very good at networking. We have our admissions, Ronisha, who will just talk to you about the school, give you a tour if you're interested in coming and applying to be a student. You could even come shadow me for a day. That would be awesome.
That's big. Do you guys offer financial aid, Pell Grants, or?
We do all of the above, and we're accredited. And we also have a expo that we do every year. This last one was big. They had rented out a whole club in Oakland, and we had a barber battle, students licensed. They were giving away trophies and prizes. There was drinks, DJ, all of that. And
they rented the club out.
Chris Bosio from Tomb 45 hosted a class. So if you're in the California area, be on the lookout for that. Just follow my Instagram or follow the school's Instagram, and there'll be information for next year's expo.
That's big. That's big, and appreciate you just shouting out, just showing love to your school, because it's important that students show love to their school. A lot of students sometimes have a bad experience, but understand, if you have a bad experience, talk to your instructors, talk to your parents, try to build some relationship, try to build some rapport with people within the school system, because that's important. And obviously it shows that the love that you have, and I'm pretty sure your owner, your instructors, Ali and Oso, is the name Oso?
Yeah.
They're going to be happy for you, man, but appreciate that love, man. Appreciate that love.
Yeah,
so
every day I go in there and it's a good day. No bad days. I'm happy, and you're going to get what you give. So when you walk into school, you have a good mindset. You're going to have good things, and you're going to value everything that you take in and that you're learning at school.
What you put in is what you're going to get out.
Exactly.
What you put in is what you're going to get out. Have you ever thought about being an instructor?
Yeah, so I actually used to teach some crisis prevention classes. So.
Yes, I mean, I'm pretty sure they got Urban Barber College. They got a good one in you. They're going to bring you back.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that. They're going to bring you back. But yeah, shout out to the owners out there, everybody out there in Cali. And we just appreciate you coming on here and just talking to us, because you don't understand how big it is going to be for other students from around the country. Understand, just hearing a student first-hand account who's in school, who's just loving the industry and just giving some gems of how to be a better student, and understand that it's growth. And there's nothing called failure when you're learning. Just got to try again. Just try again. Have a good attitude.
And if anybody ever has questions or they want to ask me something, go ahead and inbox me. Find me on Instagram and inbox me. Ask me anything and I will answer your question. I will help you.
The funny thing is, in your school, there's some students who probably afraid to approach and don't know how to approach you. So it's good that you're opening up and letting them know as well that, hey, I'm right here with you. Ask me questions how to edit. Ask me questions how to create a video. This is what I'm doing. Let me share what I'm doing with you. So, and I don't mind you sharing what you're doing with me as well.
Exactly. And I want everybody to succeed, because we are all under the same branch. We are all trying to be barbers, and we should all bring something into this industry and make it better.
For sure, man. It's been a joy talking to you. I could talk to you for all day. What do you think, Ammi?
She's an inspiration for me 100%, because just the effort that she put in reaching out to us, to see that kind of effort put forth by somebody that listens to the podcast, to me was amazing. And we've been coming in here for a while now. We got so many episodes, and the feedback that we're getting is really starting to pick up.
Oh man, the feedback, the love that we get is so much. And like I said, we started the podcast just to add something,
just to keep us from being burnt out.
You don't know how happy I was when I seen that you tagged me in the video. That's my first. I was freaking cheesing. I was cheesing so hard. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing.
And we understand our part in the industry, how there's so many people who go into school who are thinking about going to school and don't have something to grab onto, some type of inspiration. And that's why I love the industry so much. I love this industry, because the industry has showed me so much love and kindness. And I can't begin to talk about the love that the industry has showed me. I can't.
I mean, I feel the same way, and that just what keeps me fueled. It keeps me going. Like what looks like work to others is just play to me. Like if you're working, if this is work for you, then you're gonna have to work 10 times harder to compete with me, because I love doing this.
Close my eyes and do it.
Yeah, exactly. I do. I dream about
Okay,
it. Go ahead, George.
every day. But it's definitely a good time meeting you. You gave me some inspiration myself, so I appreciate you coming on here and talking to us.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here. You guys are awesome, and I will always listen to your podcast, and I'm going to send people your way. Hopefully people will inbox me with questions, and I can turn them to an episode, and I can help them out. Like it's a collaboration.
I'm gonna put some pressure on you. The next time you get on this podcast, you're gonna be in the studio. You're gonna come visit Johnson City.
Yeah, I would love that. I want to see these mountains you're talking about.
Hey, it's beautiful, man. Look them up. You're gonna love. We're gonna get you in Johnson City. It's always good to do a trip. I was in Milwaukee last week doing a mental health training, and I went to the Andes. And it was so wonderful just meeting barbers from around the country and just networking with them, and them telling me, man, we love the podcast. We love what you do. I'm like, man, I love what you do. It's always just good being able to sharpen someone else. Because metal, iron sharpens iron. And it's good when someone can pour into you that you can pour into them back. It just makes for a wonderful world, a wonderful life. Great energy.
What a wonderful world.
Yeah. We're going to start taking this show on the road pretty soon, too. We're going to hope to do some live shows in different cities.
Let's do it.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be so dope.
All right. Well, here's a challenge for you. You guys come
here we
out
go.
and see me. And I'll come see you. It doesn't matter which one's first. I can come see you first, but then you come and see me.
I'm gonna be back in California next year again, so you don't have to worry about me. I don't know about them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Hey, man, we travel once a month. So
Yeah, we on the road all the time.
all the time with the
It's
Confess
ain't
Project.
nothing but a plane trip.
Yes. But Taylor, man, what's your last words you want to share with the public, the whole world? What is the last thing you want to share? Because, again, all things must come to an end.
If
What is
something
something
inspires you, go all in. Put everything that you have into it, and you will get better, and you will reap the benefits of everything that you put in there. You never know what you're going to love. You never know what you're going to be good at unless you try. So just try and ask questions. Do not be afraid to reach out to anybody. Just ask questions.
Big, big, big. And where can people find you? Your Instagram, if you want to give your phone number out, whatever, your Facebook page, your whatever, your Twitter. Where can people find you?
So my Instagram is Taylor Jade _your_ Barber. And that's all my Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. I don't post there a lot. I mostly post on Instagram. But go ahead, follow me, inbox me, take a look at my content. I can teach you guys how to edit any videos if you have any questions.
Big, big, big. Emma, what's your last words you want to say, man?
Like she said, all in, 100%. If there's something you love, like I read this book and it said, working hard is overrated. You work hard when you find something that you want to work hard for.
Yes.
So when you finally find that thing that inspires you, it makes you want to work hard, 100% all in.
J Barr the Barber, what's up? What you got in your mind?
Licensed barber.
About time.
Yeah. It's just, man, just give it all. Like everybody else has been saying, give your all the time. Spread love and just have fun, like I always say.
It takes too much energy to be angry and be mean to people and just do the BS. It takes too much energy.
It does.
Spread some love. Like Biggie said, spread some love to what?
Crown Cuts Way. That's a quote, right? That's what he said. What song was that?
Yeah. Spreading love. Yeah. That's it, man. That's it.
Spreading love is the Brooklyn way.
Yes, that's it. Next week, I'm gonna try and get in the next week or two. I'm gonna try and get my guy Eric Cheeks to come on.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's gonna come on. He's a great educator. He's sponsored by Andy's as well.
Oh, that's dope.
He's we had some time last week. We spent some time together. Eric's in Charlotte. Really great friend of mine. So we're gonna try to get him in the podcast just to kind of spread some love again. But Taylor Jade, bless. Thank you for coming on our platform. Hey, spreading love again.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Tell everybody at your school, man. We said, hey.
I will. Everybody's going to be listening to this, so.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you guys so much for everything that you do and give into this industry. I appreciate it. You guys have helped me so much.
That's big.
If you ever have any questions, you don't mind to hit me up on Instagram. I'll ask you anything you want me to ask.
Absolutely. Likewise.
Big. We're going to have a conversation after this, so stay tuned. I know you got to go to school, but stay tuned.
All right.